We can't really understand the gospel unless we understand that we were created to be in relationship with God, the one who's created us. Creation sets the context for the gospel. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, God says, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Now let that sink in. Who are we? We are those who are made in the image of God. Now this is true whether we are Christian or not. And because God made us, well, he owns us. We don't belong to ourselves. Another way to describe this is that we've all been created to be the very children of God. In verse 28, we read what mankind was created to do. God says, "You are to be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it." Now, why do you think God wanted us to fill and subdue the earth? Well, if people made in the image of God, endowed with his glory, righteousness, and dominion, multiply and fill the earth, then what fills the earth? God's glory, his righteousness, his dominion. This is why he created us. Just as there is built into us a desire to be in relationship with our Creator, there is also built into us a desire to rule and reign like God. And yet we're all too aware of the fact that the world we live in today doesn't reflect God's glory, his righteousness, or dominion. We know how the story goes. Adam and Eve were given a test in the Garden of Eden. They failed, and their failure has affected everything and everyone. Instead of being the children of God, fallen mankind now has become enemies of God. So instead of seeking to draw near to our Creator, we seek to run and hide from him because of our sin and shame. But you see, God has provided a way for fallen mankind to approach him. It was through sacrifice. Every major religion has some form of sacrifice as a way to approach God, to pay for their sins, to appease God, or to seek his blessings. But you see, all these sacrifices were not enough to completely cleanse and restore mankind's relationship with God. Until at the right time, God sent his son Jesus, the second Adam, to reconcile us with our Creator. And Jesus does this by first paying for all of our sins as a perfect once-for-all sacrifice on the cross. He took the punishment we deserve. Secondly, after he rose from the dead, he puts on our account all his righteous deeds so that when the Father looks at us, he sees the righteousness of his Son. How then do we receive this forgiveness and righteousness? John 1:12 says, "But to all who did receive him, Jesus, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God." And as his children, we're able to draw near to God with confidence. It's this identity that gives us freedom to fill his earth with his glory and dominion by the power of Jesus' Spirit in us. So won't you receive Jesus?